Girls, what was the most obvious hint you dropped and the guy just didn't get it? On our first date, my current boyfriend and I went out to dinner, to a bar, and eventually back to his house to watch scary movies. After hanging out for almost 8 hours at that point, practically cuddling into him the entire time we were watching movies, dropping as many hints as I could, around 3 a.m. when we were both fighting to stay awake, I finally had to look his in the eye and ask, "So are you going to kiss me or not?" Though he was totally oblivious, it did show his good heart. He was about to let me fall asleep on his couch and spend the night without even trying to kiss me. I knew he was a keeper after that. We were discussing costumes and I sent a picture of me in my bunny suit and said I'd need help out of it. His response was telling me he hoped my roommate was home or that would I had to tell him I was implying I'd like him to take it off me, and it took him a minute to catch up. Anyone concerned about it being very much a suggestive picture, I'm not sure it could have been perceived as just friendly, and no, you won't be getting proof of said picture for those in my DMs, lol. I was very much ready to hit him with a bat of bluntness because we get along great and he'd seen flirty with me before. We were playing life and he was the police officer. The rule is if you spin a 10, he gets your speeding fines. I literally pulled open my button down and exposed my brake and said, "What can I do to get out of paying this?" He said, "Ma'am, I am an officer of the law. Are you trying to prostitute yourself to me?" A couple days of flirting and physical innuendo later, I literally had to spell out that I was trying to him. We've been together 6 years now. Yo, that dude is serious about his role playing. I'm the guy in this situation, but I couldn't help not sharing this story. In college, this girl I was really into asked if I wanted to hang out at my dorm and drink and watch Netflix. She came over and we were watching and drinking on the couch in the living room, per my suggestion. Things are going good, and about an hour into it, she says, "Ooh, let me see your room," so we go to my room. She takes her shoes and socks off and immediately sprawls herself out on my bed and says, "Oh my God, your bed is so comfortable." I responded with, "We live in the same building, it's the same bed as yours." She left about 10 minutes later. Oh my God, dude, lol, honestly, I think I reacted in a similar way. He told me my hair looked nice. I said, "Bet it would look nicer with your hands in it." He said, in a very confused tone, "You want me to style your hair? Do you know that I give you money for uploading my videos to TikTok, and the one who gains the most views in a month gets an extra $1,000? More details on my Discord server, link in the comments. I'm a guy, but I once had an experience where I took the hint but still got rejected. A girl that asked me if I lost my virginity yet. We were in high school. When I said I hadn't, she said that I could practice on her whenever I want, mind you, walking home after school because we lived close. I try to act on this hint when we get to her house and she said she was only joking and doesn't want it to be weird with us as friends. Before my boyfriend asked me out, he kept hinting at the fact that we were both single and everyone though we would be cute together. I was like, haha, yeah, not realizing he was trying to ask me out. For Valentine's a couple of years ago, I mailed my husband a package. The note said, and I quote, "I do now." I was ready to spring into some extra fun, steamy time whenever he opened the package. I had to sit him down and explain a couple of hours later. He was like, "Oh, yeah, my wife's learned to just holler, 'Come to bed now.' Otherwise, I'm a that doesn't get it." I'm not as brutally upfront as some of these people that mine happened yesterday. "How do I know a girl is flirting with me?" he asks. "She touches you a lot while you two are talking." I cannot relate at all. That never happens to me. I'm sure it does. I tell him and hit his arm. I can't think of any time that's ever happened. So answering in lieu of my wife here, I husband am dumb. Like really dumb. She and I met and became friends very quickly, but I didn't know she apparently had a huge crush on me. I thought she was out of my league, and apparently she thought I was out of her league too, but she couldn't stop the feels. She rubbed her feet on me while we were talking, asked me in detail about my package, gave me her phone number with the line, "Hit me up if you want pizza and flicking." We went out for lunch. She offered to date me for a Dr. Pepper, and she was very insistent that we got Meat Lover's Pizza when I asked her what she wanted for watching a movie later. After we watched the movie, she was in my bed. I figured she was just wanting to keep warm and cuddle, but she strutted into my bathroom stark and I had some staring at me. She kissed me and told me, "I want you to me, you idiot." A regular romance story there. In my defense, she had a really warped sense of humor, and I thought she was kidding with all that stuff. It felt so natural with us being friends that the thought didn't even cross my mind until she propositioned me that there was potential for more. I had some really f***ed up exes and I thought romance was something where I had to jump through hoops for the other person and wait on them hand on foot, but she was different. That's why she was the one who I got on one knee for. Advice to the ladies out there: If my wife telling me I want you to me got through my legendarily thick skull, I think is a last resort they'll get through to anybody. This was really sweet and I hope you're doing ok. Before we started dating, I told my current boyfriend, I love you, and he said, aw, I love you too, you're such a good friend. The whole time we thought we were both friend-zoning each other, wasted half a year going in circles some. I guess it does get a little tricky being a guy, cause I would never want to make a girl feel uncomfortable or that I'm forcing her into something. It kinda makes friendly gestures and hints I sound real similar, it's best to be friendly. I had a girl go out with me after work once for dinner, have some drinks, go back to my house, get too drunk to drive home, so I put her to bed in the spare room and never even attempted to kiss her. She left in the morning early and hated me after that. It was after work, so she followed me back to my house in her own car. That was the obvious hint. I missed is what I assume now. I am a guy, but I can share my density as the guy that missed the hints. I went to a store where there was a girl I liked in college. We used to small talk while I browsed and never bought anything. Bring a poor college student. This time I came in the store and she said hi, and we chatted a bit while I shopped. She complained, I'm going to be home alone tonight. My family is out of town. I replied, oh, that's too bad. She says, I'm off at 5 today. It was 4 at the time. What are you up tonight? I'm up for anything. Oh, nothing, just sitting at home and watching a movie. My brain must have completely self-destructed because the conversation ended there. I never saw her again after that. She either quit or was avoiding me. I must have been in a daze from school to miss that cue. School does that to me too, plus the fact that I'm shy and therefore believe I never get attention adds to the oblivious bliss. After chatting for hours on top of a mountain from sunset until like 2 a.m., sharing a blanket, me leaning my head on his shoulder, telling him he's attractive, etc., he turns to me and says, how do you tell if a girl is into you? He suspected that you were hinting and gave you a way to confirm or deny. Good move on his part. My buddy in college was stressing over when to make the move to kiss a girl he liked. While we encouraged him to not wait for the perfect moment and just go for it, he admitted he should have tried to kiss her when they were in the shower. If this is the truth, I think I need a brick for my own head. Literally said, I want to be yours, and the dude just keeps smiling and goes on about random space facts. That one hurt a bit. We were talking about canoes and I said I'm like a canoe because I'm wet and you can go me, and he said canoes aren't really wet. Some people think he was rejecting me, but we ended up dating for 2 years. I asked a guy on a festival to come take a shower with me. He didn't get it. He just repeated there was only one free shower and I was like, well, they are big, I'm sure it's fine. And he just looked confused and told me I could go first. We became close friends since that happened about 2 years ago, and this summer I spoke to him about it and you really had no idea. He did the biggest facepalm I've ever seen. When my boyfriend and I had just started dating, we were laying down watching a movie, but this was a small bed and he was being respectful and giving me space. I kept wiggling backwards so I could get closer to him, and he kept inching backwards too, since he thought I was just trying to get comfortable and he was in the way. He ended up sitting in a chair next to the bed. 3 years later, we are still together, and I still think it's pretty funny. He told me that when he was in the chair, he purposefully left his hand next to me in case I wanted to hold it, but I guess I missed that sign too. He didn't get out of the bed because he was uncomfortable. He truly thought he was taking up too much space and didn't realize I was trying to cuddle. This one made me laugh out loud. Imagining him scooting all the way off the bed just to give you space is so sweet, lol. I had a girl invite me around her house once just to show me her posters. They were all of Harley-Davidson motorbikes, and she says she's never ridden a Harley before. Awkward silence, and after a few other short bits of small talk, I decided to be on my way. 2 years later, I'm sitting on the bus and realize what she meant. Harley. Ridden a Harley. My name is Harley. Damn, I feel so bad for her. That's a perfect line too. When I was about 35, I lived in a beach town near a university. My neighbors were all college kids. Next door was 2 college girls. One was always flirting with me. One hit summer day, she turned up at my door in nothing but a long t-shirt. She asked if she could hang out in the A or C. I said sure, and she came over to the sofa I was sitting long ways on and laid with her back to my chest and asked if we could snuggle. I was okay with that. She then asked me to rub her belly, which I did. As you can imagine, after about an hour, I was getting a little worked up and touched her breast while rubbing her belly. She jumped up and stormed out. I was like, what the f? She later said she didn't see me like that. I asked her why she show up almost now, lay between my legs like couples do, and asked me to rub her belly and then get when I try to progress things. She says she looks at me like a big brother. I was like, is you what the family like? And that is why so many guys in this thread didn't get the hints. It isn't a universal thing. If you haven't watched my other videos, then be sure to watch this one. I bet it will amaze you. Or you can watch all our videos in a row in this playlist. Write your stories in the comments, subscribe, turn on the bell, and go to our Discord. There we give you money for uploading our videos to TikTok. You uploaded, you gain views, you got money. Link in the comments.